I went through it all and I thought, no, this website needs revamping. It looks sort of too old or stale, I don't know. And I thought, I went right through each page and revamped it and wrote it all out. And I thought, no, I'm going to put about neurodiversity on there, its own page. And as soon as I put that page, page was loaded, oh my goodness, the inquiries from neurodiverse couples. And that is really interesting. It was just waiting to happen, wasn't it? And that's most of my clients now, neurodiverse couples.
Welcome to Good Enough Counsellors, the podcast for growing a private practice without the pressure to be perfect. I'm Josephine Hughes, counsellor and creator of Therapy Growth Group, helping you get the clients you want and create the practice of your dreams. So today I'm delighted to welcome Julie Wales, who is dialing in from Gloucestershire. Julie and I have known each other for a while now, and I looked it up, Julie, because we first started working together back in 2019.
Wow.
Gosh, I know, it's a while, isn't it? Yeah. And it's been a real joy to watch Julie flourish in her private practice. I mean, she was already doing really well when she came to see me the first time, but her practice has changed. So I thought it'd be really lovely to get Julie into the studio today to find out how things have grown for Julie over time and how she's developed her career and what she's doing next, because she's expanding. And that's the lovely thing about Julie. You'll find as we go along, she's very modest, but she just gets on with stuff. So Julie, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, you're very welcome. So Julie, I'd love to sort of help encourage people by showing them sort of like how far you've come, really, which might, make you feel a bit like an imposter. But you have. So can you take us back to your journey, to the beginning? What first drew you to working in therapy?
Back in 2002, gosh, it's a long time ago, my son was 4 years old then, and he was diagnosed with a syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, and then 3 months later his sister was diagnosed with the same thing, but the much differing degrees of he's more severe, she's milder. From that moment I decided to come out of the corporate world and change career because of the life experience, really, the parenting role. Because things weren't just your straightforward neurotypical parenting then. It was something that we were new to, and I wanted to meet with other parents really as well to see what their perspective,
Yeah. So tell us a bit, what did you do then? Did you go straight into therapy then, as in, becoming a therapist, or did you do other things first? Were you more sort of working with other parents? Tell us a bit about what you did.
I did a lot of family work. It was really weird because I'd spent about 4 or 5 years at this point, getting lots of things in place for the two children at the time. They were both sort of primary school age. And I was getting statements of educational need for the two of them. A lot of work. It was like a project. I went on lots of courses. It was unreal. And then I knew a lot of the voluntary sector and the statutory sector because I'd worked with these professionals with the two children for years. We went to see geneticists. Oh, I knew lots of things. It was really like a little journal of everything. Education. Yeah, it was an education. That's right. So I saw this job advertised one day. And I thought, I would love to do that. It was a family support worker job with a charity, very small charity, working with parents and carers of children with special needs. So I stupidly, applied for it and got the job.
Fantastic. I think we're going to say, and the rest is history. You can't carry on. So you got the job. Tell us what happened there.
So I was there about 7 years, and the first sort of 5 years, I thought, great, we would working with families, and then parents were coming to us. Of course, I would have to do some listening service for them, obviously, and help them with whatever was going on with their child, routines, boundaries, school, the lot, helping them fill in benefit forms. And there was parents starting to come to us and say, we have nowhere to go for emotional support. And the trustees of that charity at the time said, there's something going on out there. GPs weren't really knowing where to send parents for some emotional support, counselling. And it was happening a lot. And they said, we need a counselling service really attached to the charity. Will you be willing to do some training? And that was it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Did they sort of sponsor you to go through your training
Yeah.
then? Yeah.
So I stopped doing
Fantastic.
the. I sort of did the family work on certain days, divided it. We spoke to the tutor of the course. We didn't want that dual relationship thing going
Yeah.
on, so
Yeah.
we did it quite well. I stopped doing the family worker for a couple of days, and we just set up a counselling practice service rather. But we interviewed loads of different supervisors to help us with it.
I was going to say, Julie, because at that point you weren't qualified. It
No,
must have felt quite
it
daunting
was
to
very
be,
daunting.
yeah,
I
thinking
started the
about.
course and they said, well, you need supervision on the course as they do, don't they? I think I did the introductory thing and then we did the next level.
Sort of level 2, level 3.
And then
Yeah.
before I did the diploma, my manager said, I think we need to interview some supervisors then. Because you can't do that paid, obviously, can you? And you can't, anyway, it was all organised and we worked with the college as well. It was really
Yeah.
good process. So we interviewed a few people, we found one, and I've worked with her for about 20 years now.
Oh, fantastic. It was a good choice.
Yeah, it was a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
did that supervisor sort of help you with like how to set it up and that
Yes.
sort of stuff?
Yeah.
As a new sort of counsellor,
Yeah.
that wouldn't normally be what we do, would it? Sort of
No.
set up a service.
No,
So
I didn't
yeah.
do that. She helped the managing team, I suppose, the trustees to know
Yeah.
what to do because I had no clue on that.
But that must have really helped, like you said, with dual relationships
Yeah.
and, really helping. Because a lot of charities, I think, they sort of think they'll do counselling, but then it can be really difficult, can't it? Because
Yes.
they don't necessarily know how counselling works and they expect you to have things like dual relationships.
Yeah.
But with that supervisor in place, it must have really helped.
She was so supportive. She knew what to do, the right things to do, ethical things. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
trained in families and children and young people. She'd done a lot of work with NSPCC over the years as well, so she knew all the safeguarding.
So that was really helpful, I
Yeah.
should think, and it
Yeah.
helped to give you that sense of safety as you moved into the work. Yeah. So tell us what. So you qualified, and then you sort of carried on working with the charity, did you?
For a year or two, yes. And then I realised that I need to do something else now. I was sort of outgrown all the day trips with families and things and doing
Yeah.
things like
Yeah,
that.
because
And
you'd
my
probably done it by that time for quite a
quite
while.
a
Yeah.
while, yeah. My children are getting a bit older. So I did some family work with other big companies like Bernardo's and Parent Line Plus, which are now Family Lives. It was Parent Line Plus then. Family Lives. I did a lot and I just learnt so much with them. And then I realised actually there wasn't a lot of support for neurodiverse families out there at
Yeah.
that time. This was sort of early 90s, mid 90s. And thinking about that then as well, it struck me on another journey.
'Cause I was going to say, because I mean, certainly back then, we just didn't really know a lot about it, did we? There just wasn't the support in place back in the sort of 90s, early 2000s, was there?
No, well, it
Yeah.
wasn't really talked about that much either, was it? I mean, it was there.
Yeah. So you did sort of, so you sort of realised that the support wasn't out there. So what happened next?
I set up my counselling as a niche for parent and carers then. I went private practice. I think I was after about 2 years qualified. Didn't feel experienced at first, but then I thought, no, I'm going to do it. 2 years qualified, set up my own private practice. And it was slow to begin with, but I'd had all the contacts from previous sort of jobs and careers and things in charities so that people knew me out there locally, I suppose. And I got social service referrals and things like that coming steadily.
So I mean, I think that's always struck me when we've chatted together. Is you do have this fabulous network of local contacts, don't you?
Yeah.
Of people who can refer on to you. Did you have any sort of worries or doubts? I mean, I know it's a long time ago now, but can you remember sort of how you felt about setting up in private practice?
Oh gosh, I was so anxious. In fact, my supervisor and I still talk today. She said, do you remember the early days, how anxious you were? And I said, oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because she remarked now, she said, you're a completely different person now, Julie. And I think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when did you set your private practice up then? When was that?
It was around 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a while now.
So things sort of picked up. Did you stay working with the charities or did you go purely into private practice?
I stopped the family work for a while and then I went to work for a big charity which is in Gloucestershire, specifically working with children and young people. My supervisor recommended I look for that. She said, if you want to keep your counselling skills up, it'd be worth doing that alongside the private work. So
Yeah.
I've always sort of done that. I've worked in schools and things. So they took me on, and I was there for about 10 years, gosh. So
Yeah.
I did the enhanced children and young people courses through them, and I just learnt so
Yeah.
much. And then eventually they set up I was always sort of talking about parents, the work, the support we do with children and teenagers. We start with parents first and help them.
Yeah.
They set up a parent advice line, so I started
Yeah.
working on that then.
So it's sort of real sort of full circle, wasn't it? So you
Yeah.
went into the work because you wanted to support parents. Then you sort of went into children and families, and
Yeah.
then full circle back to parents again.
Yeah.
And where are you now in the process? What's sort of like, who are you working with now?
So then, after about 10 years, and I thought, as I do, change things again, I
Yeah.
left there.
We like to have a bit of variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hubby doesn't know what's coming next, really, poor thing. Yeah, I left there and I just thought, no, it's a time when I don't really advertise, but my website just gets new clients. I mean, I get lots of enquiries, so
Yeah.
I'm quite secure in my private work now. It's thriving, flourishing practice now. But then I thought, no, don't stop there, Julie, as I do with my brain.
Yeah.
With a colleague that I used to work with, I've worked with her about 10 years. We set up a community interest company about 3 years ago, Neurothrive. So between us, we've got some funding from Gloucestershire County Council, which is just brilliant. We approached them and said, "Can we use some of your venues
Yeah.
to sort of test this out?"
Yeah.
And the family workers there and their managers took us with open arms. It was amazing.
Really. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we
So they could really
started off
see there
that,
was a
yeah,
need.
we started off that free, doing that free. And then they said, "Oh, we've got some funding. Would you like to carry on this? Because it's taken the sort of pressure off our family workers with the neurodiverse work."
Right. And
'Cause,
that's the people that you work with. Yeah. Go
yeah,
on.
so we work with through that community interest company. We now work with local families, so we can be working with parents, and it's a counselling, coaching, and mentoring service we offer. So,
Yeah.
I have regular calls with parents, and we're looking at just this morning I had a call about emotional regulation. It's amazing. It's amazing. We've got lots of different situations and circumstances with these families, so we can just step in and offer that expertise.
Did you do any counselling as part of that, or is that more the sort of advice and mentoring?
We
Or
have done, yeah. Counselling is part of it if they want that. So the family worker sends in a referral form to us, and they'll put what the families need help with, and then we contact the family and say what do you need help with. We'll do a quick chat with them, assessments, and then I'll put a plan together. I love it. Put a plan together around what they
yeah,
need and what's going
yeah,
on, and then we chat about it. We can tweak
yeah,
it,
yeah,
but then we have about seven or eight sessions around that. But with the funding, because it's free, we're limited with the sessions really. But yeah, that's going fabulous. And we've had private people come along, families, parents. Can you
yeah.
coach us in this? We don't know what to do. Yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
fantastic.
I love
Yeah,
it.
so it's really good resource for the community, and
Yeah,
it has this sort of I almost probably didn't look for it, but the fact that people come to see you
yeah,
privately as well, so
yeah,
it helps to generate inquiries.
yeah.
So there's a couple of points I just want to go back to because you just in typical Julie fashion. Oh yeah, I did this. So number one, tell me about setting up the community interest company, because I think for some of us that sounds like such a scary thing to do, to take that step. Was it difficult to do?
It was very scary. Yes.
Yeah,
But my supervisor again's been encouraging me for years. You really need to do something about your skills and your passion. And I was like, no, don't need to. And funny that my other colleague Tracy, who's co-founded it, we kept having chats about it, and because
yeah,
she was similar to me, working on the parent advice line and doing the counselling for families and the parent support groups we used to do together with the charity, and we both suddenly said one day, because she's neurodiverse herself, and she said, this is really lacking. We need to support, local
yeah,
families out there. I said, I know, I've always said this. So that's when we started the cogs turning, chatting.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Tracy's very much spreadsheets and business minded
Oh,
and
that's
all of that.
useful.
So she's so, oh
Yeah,
my God, she's so useful. So she did all the company's house stuff.
fantastic.
I felt great. She said, right, I'll be the back end, Julie, and you're the front end. You're the
Oh, how
people
fantastic! You're
people thing.
fantastic.
So it's
Yeah,
great. I mean, she does a bit, that she does the coaching as well, but
yeah.
she does all the back
All
end
the
of it now,
background
which I'm
stuff.
so grateful for. Keeps on row. I appreciate you.
Because I think this is the sort of lovely thing, isn't it? It sounds like it's you've both bringing different
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some of the things you've done is you have done talks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
haven't you? You like.
Yeah.
Would it be true to say you like doing talks, or you do talks? I know. Do you like doing them?
I've gotten better at them. Yeah. Like the training we've done a few bits of training through for NeuroThrive, and it's I'm getting very much more confident now. If I know what I'm talking about, I'm great. I just chat with people.
Well, you do
and
know
just,
what you're talking about, though. You've been in it for years.
yeah, it depends what the topic is. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I love it. I'm getting more confident at that. Definitely,
Yeah.
because I'm passionate about the subject, I suppose.
I mean, I think what's coming up for me, do you ever sort of think to yourself, wow, look at, not in a nasty sort of like big-headed way, but you sort of look at it and think, wow, I really have done so much for people in the community. Or does it feel like I'm not quite good enough, I need to carry on doing more? What goes on, do you think?
I am quite proud of the journey I've come on. I don't often think about it, to be honest. I mean, hubby said the other day, he said, wow, look what you've done, considering from the beginning. And I thought, oh, yeah. It's only when somebody mentions it or might comment, that I would think, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've done all of this. Yeah. So that's sort of one thought. I mean, just so good to be in a partnership with someone who's got those skills so that you can concentrate on what you're good at and she can do what she's good at. That was one thing. And then you just very quickly sort of said, oh, yeah, I've got a website and I don't have any problems with getting inquiries. I'm always getting inquiries. So I think people are probably sitting there thinking, oh, Julie, what's your secret? What do you do with your website? How have you done it?
Well, that's a laugh because I do all the content, all the words, and the people that set up my websites. The chap used to come round, visit me, do a home visit when he first set it all up, showing me what to do. And then in the end, one day I did something wrong. And he said, right, Julie, you're not allowed to touch anything now. I thought, yeah,
you almost broke it.
Yeah. I deleted some headings or something or other. I was trying to put this thing on and I was saying to him, oh, for goodness sake, why isn't it working? But it was me. And hubby was like shaking his head, it's probably you, Julie. And I was like, I thought I was good on computers. But anyway, since that day, it's been a standing joke now. I'm not to touch my own website. I'm not to go into it. So I've got this lovely lady that puts all my blogs on. I write them, send them to her, and she graphics them up, pretties them up for me.
Yeah.
And then I think last year I went through it all and I thought, no, this website needs revamping. It looks sort of too old or stale. I don't know. And I thought I went right through each page and revamped it and wrote it all out.
Yeah.
And sent
a big rewrite.
Big rewrite. It took me weeks. Oh, on and out, in and out of it. So, and I thought, no, I'm going to put about neurodiversity on there, its own page. So I've put on there neurodiverse couples. Oh, that's the other thing I did, training for couples work.
Yeah.
Because I was getting more and more parents at the very beginning. That's a full circle coming for help. How do we do this parenting thing? And it was impacting their couple relationship, depending on what was going on. So I thought, no, I'm going to put that on there because the courses I've done and the experience and the training. And as soon as I put that page was loaded, oh my goodness, the inquiries from neurodiverse couples.
Wow. And that's really interesting, isn't it?
That is really interesting. It was just waiting to happen, wasn't it? And that's most of my clients now, neurodiverse couples.
Wow. And do you, I mean, you must enjoy the couples work then.
Love it.
I always found it really difficult.
I love it. Sometimes, it's very challenging, energy draining, isn't it? But I still have a mixture. I have the teenagers, the adults, and the couples, but mostly couples at the moment. It's amazing. Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that sort of work. 'Cause I think, it's sort of quite specialist really, isn't it? Working with sort of neurodivergent couples. What sort of issues are you working with?
It's always communication. Even if the neurodiverse or neurotypical, it's communication. And that leads on to lack of connection then.
Yeah.
And it's about, if the neurodiverse, it's a lot of emotional regulation. So not sure about how to deal with these big emotions coming up and what have you. And it's often an imbalance of partners' emotions. They're on different levels.
And they maybe don't understand each other.
So they're missing each other. I always do that thing. They're missing each other. So we need to turn towards each other, as Gottman says, and not away from each other. So it's a lot of coaching on how to not do the ineffective coping behaviours and how to be together, nurturing more.
Yeah.
And I'm giving them sort of communication scripts. I'm a bit bossy like.
That's sort of part of coaching, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Is that it often comes up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Will this help? And
yeah,
they come back and they transfer. I think, wow, if they tried it, all the work's done between the sessions. I can give them the tools, but these fabulous people do the work in between the sessions,
yeah.
and they come back better for it, hopefully.
Yeah, it's almost like they just need some sort of understanding and direction, and
Yeah.
then they just work on it themselves.
A lot of
Yeah,
understanding around ADHD and autism. I've spent a lot of time doing that and explaining how that works in the relationship as well.
yeah, yeah. Help them to understand each other better and so presumably empathise with each other.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's sort of, I suppose, in many ways, it's like sort of ordinary couples counselling, but with an added
yeah,
dimension
yeah,
that you need to bring in this sort of understanding and the emotional regulation as well,
yeah.
perhaps. So yeah, yeah. I suppose what's coming up for me, it's a while since we've sort of really talked in depth, is just how much you being you and you sort of being interested in your passions, which is, parenting, neurodivergence, and all the sort of family work, that has really stood you in good stead, hasn't it? I mean, you have become quite a sort of go-to person, I guess, in your area for
Yeah,
these sorts of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at the charity, I was getting lots of calls from colleagues saying, "How do I deal with this neurodiversity or autism or ADHD?" And I wasn't an expert in the room, but I suppose I'm an expert in the room with a few people in there that don't know about it, I suppose, in
Yeah.
that sense. But I didn't feel but because I kept shouting and I was passionate about it in meetings, they kept saying, "Oh, she's the go-to then. We'll ask
Yeah.
Julie."
Interesting. That's really interesting. I've just done a podcast episode on authority, actually, and becoming the go-to person. And it sounds like that's what you established, was to be somebody who people just come to because they know that you know a lot about it. Do you ever find that sort of sense of imposter comes up for you? Like you just said, well, I'm not, I'm maybe an expert with a few people.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to acknowledge to yourself
Oh,
that this is
yes.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if
yeah,
that didn't come up, that would be dangerous because I'd be too complacent, probably. I think we
yeah.
need that we're skilling ourselves up constantly, aren't we? And I think, yeah, I want to be good enough, do no harm.
So that sort of little bit of self-doubt is actually quite a healthy
Yeah,
way of staying on track and making sure that you are actually acting ethically, really.
yeah,
That's what you're
yeah,
saying, isn't it?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
safely.
yeah.
Safety is my number one thing.
So going back to sort of like, we talked a little bit about your network. Have you got any sort of tips for other therapists who might be sort of thinking, oh, I do know a few people, but I don't know how to go about, telling them about my practice or anything like that? Have you got any sort of things you could say to people to reassure them about chatting to colleagues and that type of thing?
I would, if they're on the social media like the LinkedIn or the Facebook page, I would keep on chatting to other people. If you're in groups and things, like yours and the therapy growth group, always inputted, haven't we? Chatted, just generally chatting to other people, and you get
Yeah,
known then for your niche. I
yeah,
think that's just
yeah,
that there's safety in that. You're not telling them I'm an expert in this, but you're saying, "Oh, I've got an idea about that," and just
yeah.
generally getting to know people. I think in a friendly way, not salesy.
Yeah, because I mean, as I said, you've been sort of part of my world since before
Yeah,
COVID, which is like feels like another world,
I
doesn't
know.
it? Did you find it sort of helpful to have a community of counsellors around you? Does that help? Do you think, to have that sort
That
of
was so
support?
helpful, Josephine. You can't imagine. That was really helpful. And
Yeah,
that was so helpful just to look forward to that. I suppose chatting about things, sharing experience, reassurance, isn't it?
yeah,
You need to know,
yeah,
am I doing this right? Because there's fear,
yeah,
fear comes up, I think. And especially in my
definitely.
niche, fear with other counsellors. That's why they're ringing me so they don't want to get it wrong for the person they're working with.
Yeah,
It's real fear there, I think. And for
yeah,
myself, when my son was diagnosed, I was thinking, oh, am I doing this right?
yeah, yeah,
There's a real fear
yeah.
there, isn't there, in us that, oh, I hope I'm doing this right. So,
And we don't know, do we? We don't
no,
really know what right is.
not really. No.
we can sort of do it to the best of our
Yeah,
ability, but you sort of think, well, am I barking up the wrong tree? Am I
yeah,
doing the wrong thing? Yeah, yeah. And I think there's something around just being able to share those doubts with other people.
definitely.
And usually you are actually along the right lines, aren't you? It's just that you
Yeah,
need to have that reassurance and support, I
yeah.
think. Yeah,
I
yeah.
always say, you're the expert on you.
Yeah, I think as well it's good, isn't it? It's good to have that, like you say, to have a little bit of humility around
Yeah,
it so that it really makes us listen to people and really makes us respect them as the experts in their own lives.
yeah,
And we know we haven't got all the answers, that they've sort of to a certain extent got to work it out.
yeah.
We can sort of guide them, but they've actually got to work out what's the best way for them to do it.
Mm,
So yeah, a little bit of
exactly.
humility I think
Yeah.
helps. Yeah.
And I work with
Yeah.
so many parents. I'm working with parents at the moment that have got the experience, but they just don't know what to do. And and they want that guidance, I suppose. And I'm saying you're the expert on your child. You really are, because there's a lot of a lot of derogatory parenting blame sometimes, isn't there, with
Yeah.
some of the systems we've got.
I think especially at the moment, and speaking of COVID, it's got a lot worse since then,
Yeah,
hasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if you work with younger children, but there's more
mm,
anxiety
yeah,
about, isn't there? And, there's a backlash now against sort of gentle parenting and,
yeah,
people saying, oh, you've been too soft on them and all this sort of stuff. And
yeah.
it's sort of like, it's very difficult for parents because they're
Mm,
just trying to do the best that they can, aren't they?
yeah.
And it's really hard. So, sort of like, if you look back over the last few years, what do you think's helped you grow the most?
I think the works guided me, because you get the themes, don't you, coming to see you for the help. And
Yeah,
the theme, definitely changing the websites definitely helped. Revamping
yeah,
that definitely helped, because that, and the blogs, the monthly blogs I do help. I had a person come with a printout of one of my blogs, would you believe, in the room.
yeah. They sort of
I thought,
found you, and
wow, she'd found me,
yeah,
researched the subject. I think I'd done a Cassandra syndrome blog, and she actually printed it off and brought it to the room. In the room, and I said,
she
"Oh,
could really
that's my blog."
recognise.
She said, "I know, that's where I got it from." I went, "Oh,
Just before we carry on, if Julie talking about blogging has got you thinking about your website, that's actually really timely, because inside Therapy Growth Group, we're just starting the next section of the Action Steps programme, and one of the options is blogging. So if you've been meaning to write blogs but keep putting it off, you'll get support with choosing titles, working out what to write about, and actually getting it done, with accountability along the way. I'll pop the details into the show notes. I think that's a really interesting thing to hear about from you, is that what you've done all along is it's like you say, it's your passion and you've wanted to grow, but also you've followed the need, haven't
yeah,
you?
yeah,
You've seen the needs and you've thought,
mm,
like when you set up your community interest company, you
yeah,
could see that there was a need that wasn't being met. I think there's just such a heart in you for service, isn't there, for
yeah,
helping people. I mean, sometimes, this is a bit of a philosophical question, but I think sometimes, they say we're wounded healers, that we're
mm,
trying to help people sort of not go down the same, maybe have the same experience as us, or to alleviate that experience for people. Do you think that's part of what motivates you?
I think so. I think my first thought was setting up the counselling practice. Where would my children go? Where would I
Yeah,
go?
yeah,
And that's the theme, I think, here. Yeah,
yeah. It's just been a real inspiration
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So let's sort of think a little bit more now, because obviously you've set up the CIC and you're now moving into doing sort of more group work, aren't you? Tell us a bit about that.
Mm. Well, with that example of that person coming to see me with the Cassandra syndrome, I did a lot of courses over the years on neurodiversity, and one particular course struck me. We were talking about couples, and the example was that the male or female might be neurodiverse, and the other partner might be neurotypical. So not having autism or ADHD or anything. So very different communication styles there. And there was a lady I met on this course, and she was the sort of guru in it. She writes lots of books and things. So I ended up referring lots of female clients to her that were struggling with their partners. They just couldn't find a way. They felt lost emotionally. They were really emotionally deprived, they kept telling me, because there was no emotional feedback from their partner. They couldn't get to that vulnerable level, that next level. And I was getting this, and then I put the Cassandra syndrome blogs out, and wow, what an influx I had then of women contacting me and saying, "Your blog spoke to me. I'm going through this with my husband or partner. We
Yeah.
can't get anywhere with it. Have you got a support group?" And I went, "Not at the moment." So then,
Ding.
ding, yeah. So I was like, "Oh, right." And then I was getting physical clients in front of me asking, I mean, I had one person ask in front of her husband, "Have you got a support group for this?" And he was quite happy for her to go. It was all
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really helpful, isn't it,
yeah,
for people
yeah,
to, and because you often learn from other women,
yeah. That's right.
and share that shared experience, and
Yeah,
it can help you empathise more with your other half. Yeah, go on.
that's right. So it's not a blame thing. So
No.
from that, a few months ago, I thought, right. So I contacted the lady that was doing the training on this before, emailed her and said, "What do you think about this?" I don't know what I was expecting, but and then she said, "Oh, actually, what great idea. There's only one group I've known of in the USA." And I thought, wow,
Oh gosh, yeah.
that's lacking, isn't it? So again, here we go again. Julie's off again. So I thought, right, I'm going to try this because of the need. People contacted me through those
Yeah.
blogs, and I thought, wow. So I'm starting it on March 13th. It's a
Yeah.
support group just for
Next.
women next
Yeah.
Friday, and I've got 4 women signed up. I'm so
Oh wow.
impressed with that.
Yeah. So is this face to face that they'll be
It's
coming, or
online. It's online on
online?
Zoom because they're all over the country, different parts of the
Yeah.
country. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I've got 4 minutes. Early days. It's my first one, but to get 4 people, I thought that was quite impressive to
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
with.
It shows that there's a need, isn't it? And have they come because they've got in touch with you as a result of the blog?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
they've looked at people often Google late at night when they're worried, don't they? And they're
Yeah.
looking for support. And I think that's happened
Yeah.
on most of those people. They've said, "Oh, I've seen your blog and do you offer support?" And so I've now put that as a separate page on the website, support
Yeah.
workshop. We do a bit of psychoeducation around neurodiversity and emotional regulation and things. But it's just a space to be heard and
Yeah, I don't know if you were able to meet other parents with the Fragile X
yeah,
syndrome
yeah,
babies, but I know for me the value of being able to speak to other parents who, I mean, with me it's with kids who are transgender, and you just it's lovely actually because you meet up and then you realise that your kids are all very very similar,
yeah,
and you just think, oh, it's
yeah,
so lovely when I got together with people and I thought, finally, I've found people who've got kids like me.
yeah. You want to look for them, don't you? It's a whole new world and you don't even have to speak. Do you find? They just understand, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah, and it's so lovely.
Yeah,
So that's what you're providing for these women,
yeah.
and I probably imagine it really will help to, strengthen their relationships as well. To have
That's what I'm
that.
hoping for. It's certainly
Yeah,
not a judgment or a blame thing. I want them to know that they've got capacity to do something. I think we need to build them up first because they're in such a emotional regulation state, if that makes sense.
yeah,
But
sort of
yeah,
stabilise. Yeah.
yeah. Safety, offer safety.
What struck me then was when you said about, I can't remember exactly how you said it, but that sort of thought that essentially what you're going to do is help them be more empowered. And I just thought, yeah, that's very Julie actually, because I think this is what you've done, isn't it? Is that, like you say, sort of the world changed for you and you left the corporate world when your son was diagnosed, and yet, wow, how you've used that,
Yeah,
what could be a really difficult situation in your life, to
yeah,
really change lives, so many lives as a result of that.
yeah.
And you are somebody, I hope people who are listening will agree with me, very sort of inspirational in how you've grown and just caught those opportunities, and just always looking for new ways to help people.
Yeah.
And the clients are flowing in. So what still excites you about the work that you do?
I don't know. I'm a bit weird, like meeting new people and seeing what they bring, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, that was an anxiety probably right at the beginning. You think, oh God, what these people are going to be like? What they're going to, relate to me? But now I just think, oh well, we'll see what's in the room.
So
Yeah,
confidence has
yeah,
grown,
yeah,
and
definitely.
it's switched round from it being like, oh my goodness, this is really scary because I don't know what they're going to bring,
Yeah,
to, oh, this is really interesting
yeah,
because I don't know what they're going to bring.
yeah,
And hopefully that will reassure anybody who's just starting out in the journey and feeling that sort of scared feeling of,
yeah,
oh my goodness, what's going to happen, to be able to transform that into,
yeah.
actually, this is going to be really interesting.
The
And
thing is, they don't know what you know, do they? They don't know what, and they're there for help. So it's reassuring anyway. They've already made that first big step. It's a huge step, isn't it, to contact us?
so they're already, sort of making changes.
Yeah.
Julie, do you do supervision?
No, no,
You
that's one
don't?
thing I'm not going to do.
I just wanted to check because I know people will be thinking, "Ooh, I wonder if she does supervision."
I can do more mentorship, support, colleague
Yeah,
support. We do. In fact, I do that with Tracy at Neurothrive. She's a trained supervisor. I do it more in a way that, offering ideas and support rather than the ethics of it. She knows
yeah,
more about, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So if someone was sort of like thinking of doing something similar in their sort of area,
yeah,
you might be a good person to
yeah,
get in touch with. Yeah.
yeah, sure,
Oh, that's
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. So just sort of thinking about private practice, is there something that you worried about that turned out not to be as difficult as you thought it would be?
Yeah, probably initially the children side, thinking, oh gosh, what I've got. I mean, I've got my own two children, but it's very different supporting other people's children.
Yeah.
But I think with the child, you've got to be exploring your own inner child in that sense, if you like. You've got to be comfortable to play and comfortable to do whatever you get in the room with the child, because you're going to get all
Yeah.
sorts of different variations of things in the room. They want to jump about if they've got ADHD or autism. They might not want to look at you, or seating will have to be changed. And I've gone with that over the years. I mean, yesterday I sat with children creating Play-Doh creations. It was great.
So you've allowed your inner child to
Yeah,
come out and play as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
And playing
yeah.
and say, it's okay, because that's what they need.
Yeah. So do you think that was sort of like almost like your own personal development has
Yeah,
got you to that point where you
yeah,
can just play
definitely.
and
Yeah,
yeah, about being you, isn't it? And
yeah,
allowing yourself to grow. And I guess the thing to remind ourselves of is I don't know how long you've been working for now, but 20 or so plus years into your
yeah.
counselling
In the
career
counselling,
maybe.
about nearly 20 years. Yeah,
So hopefully that will reassure people as well that you don't. This is someone who's 20 years in, not someone who's right at
yeah,
the start.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You have to be
yeah.
brave. You end up being more confident, don't you, and braver.
So what do you feel proud about, Julie? When you look at your practice, what makes you feel proud?
I feel proud about being there and being able to support people, and I think the website makes me proud, putting the content on it. And also I've just set up a new TikTok account, which I'm immensely proud of, because you know me in technology, I'm like, oh dear, what's going to happen next? What buttons am I going to press wrong?
And how's it going, TikTok?
Oh my goodness, that is great. I've had some lovely comments. So I've called myself the Neuro Relationship Coach, because I think that's just an app, that is. So I'm putting lots of ideas on there around communication and regulation. But that's out my comfort zone, do videos. Oh, I'm trying to teach myself. You're okay. It's fine.
That's it. I mean, and I think the thing is, it's not the professionalism of the video, especially on TikTok.
Yeah,
People sit in their cars and talk to camera,
yeah,
don't they? It's more, it's what you're bringing to it, and
yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
your personality is so lovely, and you just want to give, and that will just shine through, I should think. And
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well done. That's another sort of brave
Yeah,
step that you've taken doing that.
I'm getting
Yeah.
very brave.
So we'll pop. I'll make sure I've got the proper name of the TikTok that I can put that in the show notes. And then you're available at
Yeah,
juliewalescounselling.co.uk,
yeah,
aren't you? Yeah.
yeah,
So people can find you there and
yeah.
all your lovely blogs. Brilliant. So if someone was feeling unsure about their own practice, so with the benefit of your 20 plus years experience, if someone was feeling unsure about their practice, what would you want to say to them?
I would say I mean, initially I went on a business plan course before I set up, sort of in the process of that. And that really helped me to think, what stages do I need to do? Because we need to be visible out there, market your practice, and look at the logistics, the money side, the businessy stuff. Because we're
Yeah.
not taught that in our counselling training courses, are we? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that taught me a lot, and I thought, right, this is a business, but it's hard for counsellors to get. We still need the money, but you're offering a service thing, isn't it? That's a really hard thing to think. But now I think, if somebody discusses the payment, I'm quite confident now in saying what the price is, and and when they
What do you
don't
think?
pay, and when they short pay, and I say, I
Yeah.
appreciated the time with you today. Can you pop over the?
So did you find it, what's helped you to feel sort of more comfortable with the money side of things? Because I think a lot of us can really shy away from that, shy away from charging enough, shy
Yeah.
away from chasing invoices and that sort of stuff. What's helped you, do you think, to do that?
I think I want to offer value for money. So I'm forever over providing. I'll create handouts and print them out, and I'll take a
Yeah.
great big bag of stuff with me, and whoever's coming
Yeah.
in the room, and I'll think, oh, that might help with that person, or that might help.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking hopefully I'm offering value
Yeah.
and
And
also confidence, maturity, because I'm at that age now.
yeah. Yeah. And that helps you to be able to be quite confident in
Yeah,
saying, yeah, just how much it is,
yeah.
because deep down that you're offering, so probably could be charged more.
Maybe,
if
yeah, but I
you,
don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't go that far yet.
Yeah. Well, you're making it affordable as well, aren't
Yeah,
you? But
yeah,
yeah, I think there's something in sort of knowing that you are offering a huge amount of value. So that helps you to charge what you are charging and not to
yeah,
be worried about it.
yeah.
Yeah. So sort of confidence, as you say. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for coming along, and good luck with the women's support
Oh,
group.
thank you.
So is that on your website as well, if people
Yes,
want to find
yeah.
out about
It's
it?
it's
So
a. I
if
think
maybe
it's under support workshop page on there. Yeah, yeah,
So I was just thinking, because people listening may well think, oh, I've got a client that might help, because it
yeah.
would probably sit quite nicely alongside therapy. It's not
Yes.
therapy itself, but it's
No.
support for women. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. And have you got any other plans coming up? What's so you've done this. Have you got anything beyond doing the women's group, or is there?
I'm thinking, well, we're certainly with Neurothrive, we're going to set up parent support groups locally. We
Yeah.
started out doing face to face, so that's a need that's there. Just to get parents having a cup of coffee, and we can do little psychoeducation workshops, but definitely more training for counsellors in neurodiversity. I think that's lacking. So that's
Yeah.
a light bulb moment on me, question mark in my head at the moment.
Yeah.
around
Thinking about that.
around thinking like support with that, because I've got lots of tools to offer that, so I think I can do something with that. I think
Yeah.
it's a big thing lacking. We don't have that on the courses either, which needs to be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the field's sort of expanded so much, even since, we first started
yeah,
working together.
yeah,
We didn't really know, many of us were sort of neurodivergent ourselves,
yeah,
and that's knowledge has grown in the
yeah.
last few years as well. So, yeah, brilliant. Well, we look forward to hearing about that, Julie.
Lovely.
You'll be back on the show to tell us when you've developed
Aw.
that. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming
Thank
along. I
you.
really appreciate it. And
You're
it's so
welcome.
lovely to chat and find out where you're at. So thank you,
Oh,
Julie.
it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you, Josephine.
Thanks for listening. Do come and join my Facebook community, Good Enough Counsellors. And for more information about how I can help you develop your private practice, please visit my website, josephinehughes.com. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love it if you could share it with a fellow therapist or leave a review on your podcast app. And in closing, I'd love to remind you that every single step you make gets you closer to your dream. I really believe you can do it.